Hi there. So, today I'll be reviewing the Ernie Ball Ernesto Palla black and gold ball end classical guitar strings. These guitars pair 80-20 basses with black nylon trebles, and it's sold in both an individual and a 3-pack. The set that I'm using for this review came from the 3-pack. So, I've seen these in every single guitar store just about around here in the United States, in every guitar center, and it kind of fascinated me. Why would there be a 3-pack sold of these strings? Because I didn't think like a serious classical guitarist would use these, and would it be justified to even sell 3? Would anyone even use that many nylon strings? I assumed that the kind of person buying this set would be someone using a crossover guitar, who's playing gigs, plugging into an amp, playing loud, maybe not classical repertoire on a traditional classical guitar, and they would just buy them for the convenience of quick installation and similar playing feel to acoustic basses, and probably change them out every so often, and that must be the target audience. And that may very well be, but I wanted to try them out on a classical guitar as well, just to see how do they perform. So I've got these on my Jose Ramirez Studio RAC, built in 2015, and the first thing I immediately noticed was the aesthetics of this set. I was really surprised, but it brought out the wonderful gold in the tuners from the 80-20 basses, and the highlights in the rosette of the black and the gold, and the ebony on the fingerboard. I had a couple compliments about that, how the black strings matched the ebony very nicely. So aesthetically, this is a nice set. If your guitar has gold tuners as opposed to steel, then these will look very nice on your guitar, complement it, bring out the highlights in it. Also, if you have an ebony fingerboard, it may be a little striking that the black strings match the ebony nicely as well. So that's the first thing that I noticed. The second thing I've noticed about this set is that these 80-20 basses, they stay in tune very well. The tuning stability is very good compared to the Martin M260 set, which has also got 80-20 basses but clear nylon trebles. Those basses did not sound good. They were very almost flat, lifeless, you could say, and they just kept losing pitch all the time, even like weeks later. I kept that set on for maybe a month, and they just didn't keep pitch. So this set's been on about 2 weeks. I will say it takes maybe 4 or 5 days to stabilize. They always say 72 hours, but I think maybe the 5th day I didn't have to really tune it up much when I was playing. So I'd say it does take a little longer to stabilize, but that's usually the case anyways with some of these cheaper nylon strings. So the third thing I noticed right off is the ball end trebles are not clipped, so there's a little tail to them. And that's probably not a big deal for 99% of the population, but for me, I like to tie up my strings and have a nice clean looking bridge. So just aesthetically, I don't like that. It looks messy. Somebody that might not know I had ball end strings might think I was too lazy to clip my strings or didn't know how to tie them and did a shoddy job of things, but obviously that's not the case. That's just how they install. So that is something as Ernie Ball I would fix. The last thing I would notice too is that even though these are ball end, right, if you somehow philosophically disagree with ball end, you can just clip the ball ends off, snip them off, tie them on the bridge, so you can still use this set of strings as a regular tie-on set. You don't have to use the ball end, so there's really no excuse to not try them based on that alone. So tonally, these have a very bright tone as can be expected in the bass, and a very sweet warm tone in the trebles. The thing that surprised me the most was the sustain. It's kind of still going there. The sustain is very good. This is the tone separation. You can hear every note. Right? So let's try the whole chord then. The sustain is good. The tone separation is very good. It's got a nice balance of brightness and sweetness in the trebles. So yeah, overall, I was satisfied with the sound. Playing field wise, these 80-20 basses, they do have a bit more squeak going up and down, or surface noise when you're playing, versus a standard silver set, or like the sterling silver no block, which have hardly any surface noise. So that is something to note. It will be a little harder on your hands. If you're already an acoustic steel string player, this will be a familiar feel. It won't really bother your hands, but if you're used to just the silver, then it's going to be a little hard on your hands at first until you do get used to it. As for the black nylon, it feels just like a standard nylon set. The density is about the same as, say, a D'Addario student nylon, so they do feel a bit thicker. And the tension would be, I'd rate the tension as low. There is no declared tension, but I would say the tension is on the lower side, low to medium. Not as low as I've ever tried before as their clear nylon. I feel like the clear nylon set is just a tad bit lower. I think there's definitely a little more tension in these 80-20 basses. The trebles have a similar tension to that Ernesto Palla clear, but these basses, they do have a little bit more tension than their silver basses, because those are about the lowest tension I've ever tried. So that is something to notice, maybe a low to medium tension set. So I believe I've covered everything. Oh, the price real quick. So the price was, for this pack, 3-pack, $20. So if you divide that up, that's quite affordable. It's under $7 a pack. So I gave 2 sets away for Christmas presents. One of my buddy Todd and Justin. Check out their channels, I'll link them below. So they have the other 2 sets. Check it out, they might try them soon. And then I decided to string mine up and try it out. So this is great too for gift giving if you wanted to try a set and give a couple sets away. It's good to keep these on hand, just if you wanted to have, I don't know, an extra set on hand to toss on inexpensively. And if you're playing gigs and you're changing strings very often, this would also be a good set because they're affordable. And you could change more often, have a clearer sound more often, and yeah, for less than you would be paying for a D'Addario, EJ45, or other similar sets made in Europe. Okay, let's get on to the sound test. Thank you for joining me. If this video was helpful, please leave a like down below and subscribe if you wish. You can also help the channel grow by buying me a coffee down below on Ko-Fi. If there are any strings that you would like me to review, you can leave a donation at Ko-Fi with a note and I'll try to review them. Thanks. Have a nice day.